Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another show. My dear brothers and sisters, I am certainly excited about this show today because I get an opportunity to talk to a very distinguished young man, and he is none other than Mr. Nicolaus David with two names.
Yes,
How are you,
sir.
sir?
Good, blessed. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I feel wonderful. I feel blessed. Raring to go. Looking forward to another trek.
Yeah. Well, let me say this to you. You know, the Million Man March 20-year anniversary, everybody was excited about it. We went around the country preparing for it, and you never know how you will affect or influence people.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if you were in Chicago at the Salam restaurant from the beginning when the minister announced to some of the community people that he wanted them to kind of work with him and what he wanted it to look like.
Yes, sir.
But when I hear about you,
Yes, sir.
you are a person that rode a bicycle. Now, let me just tell you this. We know some people say, well, I walked to Washington,
Yes, sir.
and they went to Gary, you know, and they sat down and ate, and then when the camera was gone, they drove to Indianapolis. You understand? And
Yes,
then, you know. So now, give me the real lowdown. First of all,
Yes, sir.
what made you go to the Million Man March?
First of all, I wanted to go to the first, but I was too young. I was literally just graduated from high school, and I didn't have enough resources to attend.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How old are you now?
Right now, I'm 38.
38.
Okay, excuse me, 37. I'm putting a year on myself.
Yeah.
I just had a birthday. So
But you're still relatively young. That's wonderful. See, what I'm trying to get at, I have to tell you, we've had a critic or two,
Yes, sir.
and that's why the minister said, if you don't want to go, don't go.
Yes,
He
sir.
was not begging anybody to go. He was willing to finance it himself.
Yes, sir.
And this was something that he saw fit to do. And if you wanted to be a part of this, you know, based on what was happening in the country, and people are marginalizing us, so he was asking whoever will let him come.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to figure out what affected you, Nicolaus.
It was that call. It was the call that you stated several times that the minister put forth to the community at large, where it transcended just religious ideology, but community service at large, and bringing the collective family back together to really empower one another. And I heard that call. I felt that call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people. I believe in prayer. I believe that the Spirit leads us. I believe if you listen close enough to the wind, you'll hear the answer to the question that you might have just placed. So I felt that calling, and first I thought the calling was calling me to ride from here to California, but my queen actually suggested, you know, the march is coming up. You should look into that. And she planned that.
So why were you coming to California? I'm confused.
Because so just take it a step back. The initiative is the cycle of peace. What I do is I teach young people social media responsibility, life responsibility.
Are you from Chicago originally?
I was born in Chicago, raised in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I consider both my home.
You had to take a bit of East Coast. You spent time in New York?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, I did. Actually, I went to a boarding school.
Okay.
Didn't like it too much when I was about 12 to 14. So
obviously, your parents wanted a lot for you.
Yes, sir. I have a blessed family. My grandmother was a who's who psychologist here with the Board of Education. My uncle was chief of
Who's that? Who I may know of?
Dr. Ivor May Bearfield, God bless her soul. She's
Okay.
a pioneer in psychology here in the city. My uncle was chief of staff for Harold Washington. So,
Who was your uncle?
Ernest Bearfield.
I know
Yes,
Ernest.
sir. Ernest Bearfield. Yeah, Ernest.
Ernest still around?
No, sir. He's in Florida right now. They're doing community
I know he
development.
was from, Harold brought him from Atlanta, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
I've always been in the community. I've always grown in that energy. And as an adult, I wanted to do something to impact my community in a positive way. And I teach as well. But cycling is the medium that I use as a way to teach our young people how to inculcate their thoughts in words and turn them into a deed. And my deed is cycling, and using it as an example, a way to break through and to build that bridge that might be needed. And so I do long distance treks. I seek to cycle over 500 miles on any given trek so we can reach people, go far, and show the power of dedicated focus.
So this is some kind of club or something. I mean, these are things that people do.
Yes, sir. These are things people do.
Yeah.
This is not. We don't have a club yet.
Yeah.
But there are Major Taylor Cycling. You have a lot of black cyclists that are all around the city. Slow Roll is another one. They do a lot of good work.
Yeah.
But our program and initiative is geared more so towards using cycling as a way to maintain your focus, stay the dedicated course to what God puts in your heart.
Discipline it all.
And discipline, absolutely. That's how we approach cycling.
Allow me to ask you now, when you said teacher, which is a very noble profession, you don't teach in the classroom too, do you? I mean,
Well,
are you
most recently, yes, sir. Most recently, we were. I taught social media responsibility for several years.
they offer this in school?
This is a curriculum that we created. Actually, it was answering the need of a principal, Esther Kelly. God bless her. She was one of the first to sit down and us put that plan together.
That's very good.
Yes, sir. So it's a social media responsibility course, and that's part of the third entendre I was speaking of with the cycle of pieces meaning. It deals with media cycles as well. Much of what we're doing right now deals with discussing responsibility.
So you thought about California, but because this brings attention to some of the social ills and different.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So then your queen intervened.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She brought DC to the table and said DC was coming up, the Million Man anniversary. I said, oh, of course. And the minute I said that, that very day, I ran into a friend of mine who happened to be a part of the LOC. And I told her the vision.
Local organizing committee.
Absolutely. Deanna
Which are
Burrell.
necessary. And this is another thing that you're doing. You're showing the reason why we had organizing committees, because a person could go someplace and get involved. Right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. They immediately embraced. I had a chance to sit down with leadership, and they asked which group I would like to be in. I chose promotion. Sister Res, hey. And as a result of joining promotions, we decided that this trek could be an opportunity to further promote 10-10-15. While cycling from Chicago to D.C., it'd be a chance to tell other people, share more of the message, get more energy and excitement around the initiative. And then,
You know, let me apologize
sir.
to you right away, because, you know, I'm my own producer. You know, I produce my own shows, but I do get input from people who make suggestions to me.
Yes, sir.
And I've been a part of this since the day Minister Farrakhan discussed it with me, that I wanted to help and be a part of it. But I didn't go to a lot of the organizing committees, which, and that's why I apologize, because I take a lot for granted in this sense. I think I did, because I had access to him.
Yes, sir.
And having access to him and talking to him, and I felt, you know, well, you know, I'm getting it right from the man's mouth, so why go? But I could have learned about people like you, and you mentioned promotions. What better way that I could have been in than promotion, since I have a show?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
we would have been able to talk about this prior to
Yes, sir.
and afterwards. You know, you tell a story before like you told to them. I'm surprised someone didn't suggest that you come and do this show.
Well, you know, it's all in God's will. Allah always makes things work out in a perfect manner.
That's right.
You know, and that's one of the things I was sharing with the two brothers who were cycling with me as well. One of whom, Ajubike, was a young man.
BK.
Ajubike
As you BK.
As you BK, absolutely. From Ghana, excuse me, Nigeria. Sharp young man. Had never even thought about cycling out of state. And I'd seen him, and I recruited him from the fact that he sold fruit in Hyde Park. And I thought this brother's aware of health. And
so you must be quite persuasive.
I'm, when God puts a vision on your heart, He provides the resources to be able to help provide it. It's our job to walk with that vision and have perfect faith in it. And so I saw him. Spirit said he would go. I offered it and stay with him. And he saw that I was serious. See, the things about sales is the fact people got to believe that you believe it.
Yeah.
How am I going to sell something if I don't believe I can do it? I told that OC, I said, if none of you are all right, because I made the invitation to all of them, and God bless them. I understand time might not have allowed.
So how many did you initially think was going with you?
I was good with one other, because these type of treks I've done by myself. I've cycled from here to Atlanta. That was my very first trek. I cycled from Atlanta to Miami. I did that in 7 days. And this was the third trek. And so I was prepared to ride solo if needed.
But put that in my mind now. It's a wonderful concept.
Yes, sir.
But the elements, do you check with the weatherman to see what the
weather? You become one with nature. I also have Native American in my blood, and so
I heard you talk about the wind talkers.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. They know me as a Skywalker. And so when you tap back into that understanding and knowledge of nature and choose to become a part of that, a willing participant in this grand opera, then it changes your perception of weather. You no longer become cold. You become waterproof. When you sleep at night and you camp out, the earth embraces you.
So you actually do camp out and all of that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, we're talking to Nicolaus David.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic talk. But, I want to get into this again. Now, you were going to the LOC meetings.
Yes, sir.
Telling them, what type of training in your preparations for the trip?
Absolutely. Wonderful, yes. And so one of the things we said was if people weren't able to make the trip due to time or duration, so I created a training course. We call it our community cycling courses. And what we did was meet Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 a.m. till normally about 7, because it was a 7-mile.
But that's good when you say 6 a.m., you get a person up at that time.
Yes, sir.
Especially the black man, whether he related to the Native American or not. So that was pretty good. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that was with the time frame. We had a few respondents. We would like more. But again, all who came I considered a blessing. So were able to get some of the brothers and sisters out. I'd say a grand total of about 6. But I felt,
so 6 was trading with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me say, how long did you train before the actual trip?
As far as myself or with them?
With them. The LOC meeting.
About 3 weeks. We had 3
That's
weeks.
it?
Yes, sir. We had 3 weeks. And the goal was, I knew I wouldn't get them ready for a cross-country trek. It was really about getting them at least warmed up to the notion of exercising and exerting that force, waking up early.
So they had to have a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And so you all rode around and,
Yes, sir.
and talked about it and got people prepared.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I'm trying to do now, it took us 4 or 5 months on the road. I think about 4 or 5 months before October came.
Yes, sir.
And the minister was speaking 3 meetings a day.
Yes.
In different cities.
Yes.
We're in one city today and another city tomorrow. And it was absolutely enjoyable. I got a chance to reacquaint myself with old friends. I've been around for a long time. We like to think of ourselves as pioneers.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So we've been doing this, and we chronicled the history.
Yes, sir.
And it was just so wonderful. Here's a man that's over 80 years old, still going like we was going 30, 40 years ago. In fact, would tire us out. You know what I mean? When I finished with him during the day just watching him work,
Yes.
when I got to my hotel room, man,
I know.
Yeah, I didn't have no problem. So I'm trying to give people some kind of vision of what you've gone through, because I think this is remarkable, and more attention
Yes, sir.
could have been brought to this, because this showed the seriousness, because we have some of our silly people talk, well, what did you accomplish? one thing we accomplish is you right here showing what could be done
Yes, sir.
if you really want to do it.
Yes, sir.
That's 700 miles that you wrote
800
about.
plus.
800.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yes, sir.
give a little.
I gotta get.
Cleveland is nearly 600, right? Yeah, did you go? But so give me
Yes, sir.
the way that you travel. I mean,
Yes, sir.
you know, just give me the morning of or when you decided you was going to head out.
Okay. You leave, you separate from yourself. The concern that you would have had leading up to it goes away. You become at peace with the decision.
Okay, you got a piece of the decision.
Yes, sir.
And you wanted 6 or 7. You wanted as many as you could.
Yes, sir.
Now we're getting ready to leave.
Right.
Talk is cheap.
Right.
When we show up, do we show up for prayer? I mean, what time do we show up?
We met at the mosque. We launched from Mosque Mariam. The launch time was.
You took the tollway.
Yeah, I know, sir. We always did. No. And then so bless Chicago Rob, because he knew the route on Stony Island. So we took Stony Island and traversed into Indiana, crossed over into Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Like for Old 41.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. Just that way. And then once we hit passed through Gary, we dropped south into Maryville, and then cut east and pushed out on the state route, because the alternatives are Google Maps, right? So Google Maps has bike directions from here to D.C., but the caveat is you are taking like at least 20, 30 feet left. Take a right here. Go down the side street, ride this bike lane here. And if you're trekking, you don't have time for that. You want to get to the straightest route possible.
That's what I was thinking.
You got to just blaze it out. And once you get into that rhythm, you become a machine. You see?
So, but you did take the tollway eventually.
No, sir, we didn't. You
never did hit the toll in 90 going through Ohio?
No, sir. It's an old route that leads. You take a left at Stony right there, where the brothers are normally at, that underneath the Skyway.
Yeah.
No, you take a left right there, and it cuts right past the Chicago Theater at an angle, and that puts you right into Indiana. That staying that route will take you right to Indiana.
Okay, but you get to Indiana,
Yes,
and
sir.
then what?
You find a state route. You find the straightest path possible once you leave the city grid. So that way.
When did you find yourself in Ohio?
Wow, that was
after how many days?
2 days. We covered into Ohio. We got through Indiana relatively quickly. We were blessed to have a trail vehicle for the first 2 days. Carly Johnson was our.
And we're going to talk about. We're
Yes,
going to
sir.
talk to him shortly.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you what I'm going to do.
Yes, sir.
Let me set this up. I'm going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and then we'll set up how we want to go into this, because I might have skipped ahead that people want me to come back and slow down, so we'll see.
Yes, sir.
But I'm just still curious, you know, because all I see, I've driven to Washington before.
Yes,
you know, but I know that going through Ohio, I go on the toll.
Yes, sir.
You know, but anyway, let's take a break, and
Yes,
we'll
sir.
come back and talk more.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, Mr. Nicholas David, we will take a break, and don't touch that remote. We shall return.
The Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by ComEd. For tips on managing your energy bill and helping the environment, call 1-800-EDISON-1 or visit ComEdCare.com.
ComEd Smart Ideas presents the power of energy efficiency. Altogether, you have saved over $700 million, all because you took part in our energy efficiency programs, like our central AC rebates, fridge and freezer recycling, and lighting discounts. The small changes you've made to be more energy efficient really add up. The math is easy. ComEd's energy efficiency programs equal savings for you. Learn more about energy efficiency at ComEd.com/home savings. ComEd, powering lives.
My City Colleges of Chicago education is all about getting me to my career destination. Kennedy King College, winner of the 2015 Rising Star Award.
And Community College Excellence has prepared me for one of the 70,000 jobs coming
in construction, technology, and drafting, as well as culinary and hospitality.
Kennedy King College has made it possible for me to work with some of the best executive chefs in Chicago.
I got to work with Washburn alum Audrey Triplett.
When I'm looking to hire culinary and hospitality staff, I know where to go, Kennedy King College.
Employers and universities help design my coursework,
so I gained the skills they demand, saving me $40,000 along the way.
Each of the 7 city colleges satisfies the general education requirements for a bachelor's degree.
Each also has a college to careers focus, so I can now see
one of the 600,000 jobs coming to Chicago in high-demand careers.
I found my career pathway. Find yours
at ccc.edu.
City Colleges of Chicago.
Education that works
without all the debt.
This portion of the Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by East Lake Management, innovative solutions for building communities of the future today.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back, and brothers and sisters, this is a fascinating conversation that I'm having with my brother. I'm really moved by it because it shows that when you want to do something, it's in your heart, and you got the will to do it. So that morning,
yes, sir,
you were not discouraged. It was 2 others that showed up.
Yes, sir.
And you took the bike route. You learned some things, and it's not like the traditional car.
No, sir.
So now we're going to be bringing in your videographer momentarily, because I think it's important to know that you had a trail car.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But when you made it to Indiana, I mean, after an hour or so, what was going through your mind?
You become a machine, which exactly, I equate it to life. When you have a big vision or a goal, it comes to a point where you detach from the feeling or the emotion of it, and you are just functioning in the deed of it, meaning that it must be done. And so that's how we became on our bikes. We learned each other's strengths. As BK was strong with the hills, so we would follow him when we were climbing hills. He would draft us. Lalabella, we call him the legend because he trekked the entire way on 1 gear. He had a fixed gear bike, and he was loaded up with his army pack. So this means this brother was riding a street bike, riding up mountains. I had to call, he's legend. He'll always be legend to me. I saw him do it.
And was this your first time meeting these people?
Yes, it was. Well, I'd seen, exactly. Actually, that's a whole nother part of it. I'd seen Ajubike in passing as I was training for this trek, and so one day the Spirit said, ask him. So I hadn't had any real interaction with him. And Lalabella was a friend of Ajubike. And so everybody was new to one another. This was our bonding.
So that had to be so what comes out of, you know, people ask us, well, what happened in the first Million Man March? Well, there were instructions given, there were pledges made, people were to interact, strengthen their organization wherever they were, didn't tell you that you had to come join the Nation of Islam, and didn't tell you it was a Muslim thing, and which is really resentful, because what Minister Farrakhan has done has displayed that he had the power to call people together like that, and they responded from all walks of life.
Yes, sir.
You know, from all ages. I mean, you're 38, and, you know, I'm proud of you. You got wisdom before you were 40. They said you had to be 40. So you're growing.
Thank you.
So having someone to organize this, to, you know, to videotape you and to shadow you. So, as you say, you've been doing this for a while because you teach this.
Yes, sir.
How did you get someone? In fact, we're going to bring him in and let him tell his own story, but where did you find this young brother?
I met this young brother 2 years ago. He's been with this entire project from the beginning. He is the Cycle of Peace as well.
Oh, he can do it as well?
Oh, yeah. Well, he doesn't trek, but he doesn't cycle yet. I'm working on that, but
But he does know how to ride a bicycle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But he's a skater. He's one of those guys. He likes doing the ollies and the flips.
Yeah.
But he's been our archivist, our chief videographer, our content manager. You know, he's a young man who said he wanted to grow and develop in his art, and I said, okay, we're gonna create some opportunity to do that for you, and that's where he's been.
So how many other students do you have? Anybody else like Carl?
Absolutely. Been blessed. Actually, one of our success stories, Jordan. Jordan is now a staff writer for blackdoctor.org. He's come through our program. I say we've been blessed to be able to touch over 200 young people's lives here in Chicago since inception, where we've been able to really work with them, take them hands-on.
You said Ernie is your uncle?
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes,
I was going to say, I could detect, even though he was kind of tall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As I remember, he looked tall during that time.
Yes,
I guess I haven't grown any, but
yes, sir.
Harold Washington was bigger than life, and
yes.
Ernie automatically became that, and the young brother who was the spokesman, the press secretary.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people came from Atlanta to help him.
Yes, sir.
And I was just reminiscing, you know. It's
yes,
nice
sir.
to be in the room.
Yes, sir.
So you bring this videographer in, and
yes,
you all had planned all of this.
Yes, sir.
So the four of you all showed up that morning, or the other person who was driving him too?
Yes, sir. And the fifth member of this group is Cosette Israel with the Love Institute.
Cosette, I know that name.
Yes, sir. Yes, she's a who's who here in Chicago. She does wonderful work with our young people. She teaches, and LOVE is an acronym for Love, Unity, and Values. So she works with young people and training them for the jobs of tomorrow.
Okay.
She's had the foresight to develop curriculum that addresses the needs that the United States has predicted our young people will fall into as far as being ready for the jobs of tomorrow. So she's dealing with the preemptive work right now, and so we're wonderful partners of the Love Institute. We often joke about it and say, she's love and I'm peace, because I'm the cycle of peace and she's the Love Institute.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to bring in the man himself.
Yes, sir.
Who choreographed a lot of this, I guess you would say.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
brothers and sisters, don't touch that remote. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll come back and continue our conversation. We'll be right back.
This portion of the Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by Ariel Mutual Funds, where slow and steady wins the race.
Searching for a restaurant that serves delicious home-cooked meals at an affordable price like your grandmother used to make? Well, the search is over. Stop by MacArthur's, the new talk of Chicago. We offer a warm atmosphere with friendly service and excellent meals ranging from carry-out, dine-in, or catering for your special events. MacArthur's is open 7 days per week from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Come visit us at
5412
West Madison Street or call us at 773-261-2316.
Hi, I'm Spencer Leak Jr. In 1933, with the help of God, my grandparents, Reverend and Mrs. A.R. Leak, founded the A.R. Leak Funeral Homes. And now, 75 years later, under the leadership of my father, Spencer Leak Sr., I serve as vice president. While away in college, my professors often told my class that third-generation funeral businesses usually fail. Well, with the help of God and your help, my family and I have proven those professors wrong. So on behalf of my mother, Henrietta, my father, Spencer Sr., our family, and our entire staff, we would like to thank all of Chicago and its suburbs for 75 years of your trust and support. If you should ever need the services of a funeral director, won't you consider calling us? We are located at 7838 South Cottage Grove and 18400 South Pulaski in Country Club Hill. Leak & Sons Funeral Home, large enough to excel in the field, yet small enough to have patience and understanding.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back, and brothers and sisters, we're continuing our conversation. I'm having a great time talking to my brother about becoming a cyclist. Who knows? You know, I was thinking about getting my bike out of the, well, I have to get it out of the store first. Maybe you can recommend what kind of.
Absolutely.
Okay, but now we have this young man, someone that you've trained.
Yes, sir.
You want to introduce him?
Absolutely. This is Khalid Johnson, our Chief Content Officer, the original, one of the first students of the Cycle of Peace initiative, where we work with and developing young people here in the city of Chicago to help empower them in their dreams.
Now, we're going to give you a chance. Now, you're 38. He's 22.
Yes, sir.
And 21. But you're 37.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Yeah, so I gave each one of you all
extra year. There you go.
But what I want to say, and it's so beautiful, because when we started this organization, the archive, I think I was 36 years old. And I think about the young people who have come over the years, and I was about to say, well, you're 38 and he's 21. But you've been out here. You got a little bit more experience, but you reach back immediately and not far removed, because sometimes we get so far removed and we dismiss young people. So, it's an honor. I like my brother because I had a chance to sit and watch his mannerism, and he had a confidence level, and I took his phone number the night that I saw him because I really wanted to talk to you all, but I liked his style. So what was it that I liked about you, I wonder?
Wait, what was it that you liked about me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I was just at the table talking and power around, trying to, figure out or meet new people. I mean, I honestly can't say. I mean, you have to tell me what you like about me.
But I'm just, it was really a rhetorical question. I really didn't expect an answer, but I'll say this to you. The way you were, the way you handled yourself, you were curious, you were not intimidated. And the reason, you've been in an atmosphere like this big spacious property, Minister Farrakhan's home, 60 or so people there for dinner, you in the midst of it, and you didn't take it for granted. You knew you were at a special place, and that's the thing. But savoring the moment, what you do with it, and I like that about you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
But tell me, what is it like, or what was it like working with Nicolaus, and he had told you that these things would happen.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I know he probably made promises to you, one day you'll see this, see that. But were you ready for what you experienced?
Yeah, I feel like I'm ready for, well, honestly, I've always been the kind of person who feel like I've been ready for anything, because I don't shy away from anything.
It's okay. Go ahead, don't shy away now. Let me ask you this, though. Now, I'm serious, because you here videotaping this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go all the way to Washington with him? Or you just, tell me where you come in and where you leave it.
Okay, so I was at the beginning. So I was at the mosque when Nicoh and the other two cyclists were getting ready for the trek. And so I was capturing footage of that, getting testimonials, interviews, that kind of thing. And then I was in the car with Cosette, because she was the driver. And I would get footage out the window, literally. Sometimes I'll stick my body out the window to get different kinds of shots, because I have a certain type of eye, and I see certain things. I want things to be a certain way when I
You see things that others may not see. You have a photographer's eye.
Yeah, definitely. And recording Nicoh, recording him doing the first track was intense, because it was like I've never recorded a man cycling from this state to another, But
okay, so were you wear the mic, or were you wired up?
No, sir. Well, we pray by the next track we could find those type of supporters that can help make sure.
Help you to get the equipment that you
all
need.
All the full equipment to capture it properly. But we do what we can with what we have.
Yeah, but so it was a challenge.
Yeah.
But the video pretty clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's very clear, very HD.
So when did you decide to, gotta leave you now, sir? Where were we?
Well, I was, leave you now? Well, it was around the time, it was the second day.
So you stuck with him to the second day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we spent the night at the firehouse. I forgot which town it was.
So tell me about the people being cooperative with you.
It was a blessing. It was an opportunity to literally engage people and show them that nothing is impossible. So a lot of the towns we would pass through were not as ethnically diverse, as you get in a big city. So rural America is rural America, literally. And so we had a chance to really touch people in these small towns, show them that people do care about other people. We were blessed with donations without even asking for donations. People hear our story, go in their pocket and give us what they have. And we have that on camera as well.
So you all were talking. I mean, when you get to these rural towns and just telling people this journey you're on.
Sir.
And they didn't say, what, that racist Farrakhan?
No, sir. No, sir. That's not what was said. And that was actually surprising to the brothers who I was trekking with. In fact, I was the lead on the trek. I had the most experience. I knew how to navigate. I knew in these situations where we're traveling to unknown lands, you have to be proactive. You have to let it be known who you are. If not, that gives people a chance to let fear sink in.
Right.
So you, in essence, have to command the situation and let it be known this is our land. We are God's children. This entire earth is ours.
And we're functioning like that.
Exactly. We function in that way, and we are here. We're emissaries of peace. We are on a track to raise awareness for improving our community, improving our health, changing the narrative around black men.
So get me to the firehouse. When do we say, okay, it's chow time? You know, I mean, you know, when we riding the horses and going to Texas, and they pull over, we're going to camp here for the night. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we're constrained to Mother Nature in that way. So when the sun sets, I try to make sure we get at least one more hour of cycling in. I want to make sure we always hit that benchmark of at least 85 miles in a day. So when the sun sets, that's when we're looking for shelter. And based on the layout of towns, you're mostly going to hit a town every 25 to 35 miles. So if you time it right, you'll always be within the city limit. And so we would normally pull into a city and call the firehouse. Thank God for our, again, community partner, Cosette Israel, the Love Institute.
So she set it up for you.
She set up firehouses along our trek, and we called her air support. So we would see where we were on the road, anticipate our mileage. She would call ahead to the next town. And at that point, they would have a firehouse, if they had space available, waiting for us. And the firehouses would open up. Several times we were in firehouses by ourselves. It would be a Caucasian firefighter. Like, this is where you guys can stay at. We got to go on a call. You guys enjoy yourself and rest well. And this is with us telling them where we're headed to. We're telling them we're going to Washington.
But you don't, and see, I think something should be said about those people. This speaks for the people. See, the people function according to a lack of knowledge.
Yes.
If they knew us, they would love us. As I say to people about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to know him is to love him.
Yes.
And if you don't know him, then he's foreign. And the propaganda machine has done that.
Yes.
Now, you all dispel the myth, and it should be talked about. And those firehouses should be given credit, and those cities and towns where you all were, to take good care of you.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely. They blessed us.
So the first one was where?
We were in Butler. I believe that was Butler. Oh, was it Butler?
I think it was Butler.
Was it Butler?
Yeah.
We trekked pretty far. We did 100.
But you filmed it wherever it is.
Yes, sir. We have that on film. We definitely have it on film.
When we get the documentary, that's definitely going to be
absolutely.
So the beauty in it that when you got to the place, they were waiting on you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
what happened this first night that you tell me a little bit about it?
This was actually one of the firehouses where we stayed in by ourselves.
Did you have food available?
They gave us food. They gave us full access to the kitchen. They gave us cots. We were
and it's the four of you all.
Yeah, it was the four. Yeah. No, you all turned back around.
Yeah, we did. It was next day, I believe. What was it? Because we stayed with you for like 2 days. Talking about the first.
What was the first firehouse we were at?
Well, wherever you were now.
I'm sorry, we got to
go. We got to go through the process. Let me just say this.
Yes, sir.
But brothers and sisters, to get a firehouse, I tell you what. Let me take a break.
Yes, sir.
I want to take a break because I want this to really sink in.
Yes, sir.
Because it's sinking in to me. The idea that they were willing to give you food, people giving you donations and things. How many firehouses did you stay in altogether?
We stayed in 7 total. 7 firehouses total.
The further up north you got out, did they treat you any better?
We were treated with the same level of respect, hospitality at every firehouse. I don't care if I saw Confederate flags flying through the town, shotguns, beat up pickup truck. In fact, those were the ones honking the horn and giving us the power to the people.
Well, you know what? Those are the kind of people that I'd love to talk to.
Yes.
I'd love to be able to talk to those people in the receptions that you receive going through there. So I'm eager to see your footage.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, brothers and sisters, we're talking to our 2 brothers, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and begin to wind things down. So please don't touch that remote. We shall return.
Eat and Run Chicken and Fish has the only chicken you can reheat and eat. It's good as mother's and better than the others. It is the chicken even mothers love. We've been serving the community for over 30 years. We cook with 100% vegetable oil and are open 7 days a week, including holidays. We're located at 87th and Hermitage. Contact us at 773-429-1812 for your takeout order, or let us provide all your catering needs. For the best chicken of your life, it's Eat and Run.
You are watching The Munir Muhammad Show, a production of Crow. Please take time to join us at Crow, the Coalition for the Remembrance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Crow is the National Archive of the Nation of Islam and houses one of the largest collections of historical, audio, video, and print documentation on the total black experience. Crow is located at 2435 West 71st Street, the corner of 71st and Crow Lane. We are open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Our number, 773-925-1600. We look forward to seeing you at Crow.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, asking your support to help my campaign as a candidate for the United States presidency. It takes a lot of money to finance a campaign, allowing only big money people with their own interests to represent you in Washington. With support from people like you, we can raise the funds to help make a difference. Perhaps it's only a few dollars or a sizable contribution. Every dollar will give you a voice and a better future for America.
Hi, I'm Spencer Leak Jr. In 1933, with the help of God, my grandparents, Reverend and Mrs. A.R. Leak, founded the A.R. Leak Funeral Homes. And now, 75 years later, under the leadership of my father, Spencer Leak Sr., I serve as Vice President. While away in college, my professors often told my class that third-generation funeral businesses usually fail. Well, with the help of God and your help, my family and I have proven those professors wrong. So on behalf of my mother, Henrietta, my father, Spencer Sr., our family, and our entire staff, we would like to thank all of Chicago and its suburbs for 75 years of your trust and support. If you should ever need the services of a funeral director, won't you consider calling us? We are located at 7838 South Cottage Grove and 18400 South Pulaski in Country Club Hill. Leak & Sons Funeral Home, large enough to excel in the field, yet small enough to have patience and understanding.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back, and my dear brothers and sisters, this is such an exciting show because I'm learning so much, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's just really remarkable about the feat that these brothers have accomplished and so meaningful. And if we talked about it all day, every day, it wouldn't be enough. It really shows something about our community. And then you as a young brother, 21, chronicling this history. What is this like to you?
It's a lot. I mean, at first, when I first met Nicoh, he was telling me about his vision. And
what you call him, Nicoh?
Yeah, Nicoh.
Okay, instead of Nicholas. Huh? Okay, well, maybe if I become one of his close friends, I can call him that. Huh?
You already are.
Nicoh. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But yeah, when he first told me about what he wanted to do, it was it went along the same path that I wanted to take, because I wanted to help my generation, and I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. And I saw that Nicoh was about that, and so once once I decided to once I decided to join Nicoh in this endeavor, it was like I realized I was built for this. Like, this is the kind of things that I was meant to endure and witness and be a part of. And I've always been working in kind of like a workaholic in a sense, like always.
But you love your generation, and you thought your generation was being misunderstood and misrepresented in many instances. So what was the feeling? Were you suspect at first? Why is this man interested in me? Why are he trying to push me? What is it? Did you see him as a father figure, a brother figure?
At first, I saw him as a client. I saw him as another
client.
Yeah, as another guy that
that you was gonna make some money from.
Yeah. But then it turns out it was way more than that, because
I like your honesty. So you were looking for a couple of bucks.
Yeah, I was trying to get it how I live, because even before I met Nicoh, I did work in U Media, which is at the Harold Washington Library downtown.
Yeah.
And I designed, I did the magazine cover for it, so I did a lot of graphic design and photography.
So you technically inclined. Mm-hmm. So did you go to school for this, or you're an artist?
I went to Kenwood Academy, and I took graphic design classes under Mr. Turtel Only, and he is
obviously he's good.
Yeah, he's great. He was the guy I was working with mainly back when I was in high school before I met Nicoh, and so and that's a whole nother story, you know. But honestly, with all this happening, it's becoming very natural for me because I mean it's.
Well, you have a sister, and there's no brothers.
Yeah, I have a sister. One little sister. Her name is Kayla Johnson.
Oh, so she's younger than you.
Mm-hmm. She's 18.
So Kayla is an original name, huh? Mm-hmm. Not something that Bruce stole, huh?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So let me say, you know, as you sit here, I need to ask you both this, though. Because, you know, they portray Minister Farrakhan in so many different ways, and as I say, I think, you know, I know him about as well as anyone from outside his family, and I think the world of him. And I just think he has a wonderful personality. He's patient. He has the ability to communicate, and he listens. You know, he listens to you. I don't care who you are. This man can listen. That's one of the traits. I don't know if people really recognize that, but you have to be special to listen exactly what a person is asking you or saying to you, and then, you know, show them. And that really means something to a person. But what kind of impact has he had on you all? Did you eventually get a chance to shake his hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What kind of impact did they?
Well, I remember hearing about Farrakhan when I was really young. My parents would tell me, listen to Farrakhan, you know, because he's a good role model for our people, and you know. And then I heard other things, you know, other rumors.
Some of the negative stuff.
Mm-hmm. I heard positive and negative, but what I've come to learn is that.
Was this your first time meeting him?
Yeah. So what I come to learn is that the truth will simply stand for itself. So I don't have any view on negative or positive view on Farrakhan, because I mean I just met him personally, so I can't have that I can't go based off of other person's perception. I gotta go see for myself.
Yeah, but from what you saw, and the impact in this project you're involved in, all of this, but remember, it was he who put this and put us in the room together. You know, they did a movie once about 6 degrees of separation, you know. But, you know, I admire the ability to bring all these people that I would have never got a chance to talk to, wouldn't have had any reason. So that's true. Your impact, what impact did he have on you?
I mean, he's an icon. He's a legend. He's a man of our people. He speaks the truth. You know, like I say, you know, when you're talking about icons, you're talking about people who are, you know, speaking a true word, living a true word, and impacting many lives. And I think that's how you're able to judge the measure of a man, is how many lives has he truly affected or impacted in a positive way. Yeah. And he stands as a giant amongst men. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. Not many people would I ride a bike cross country for. You see, and the divine nature of it all was the fact that he was calling for 10,000. I had no idea. You know,
but you know you want to be in that number.
Yeah, absolutely. And I took it as a humble recognition for him to say I'm a demonstration for the call that he put. And it also, for me, verifies the fact that I did hear a calling before it was publicly stated. I heard a calling. I heard something calling me and saying, be intentional about going regardless if anybody comes with you or not. And I stated that publicly at multiple LOCs.
Well, let me say this. We only have a few minutes. Time passes fast, and I want to go back to the reception that you all received from the various firehouses, people on the streets, people in rural America, people in America, period. What was that like? And, you know, Minister Farrakhan was calling for justice or else, but he was also saying there are a lot of good people who just don't know any better.
Yes, sir.
And if you haven't been exposed to anything, but they got as I was looking at a card of one of the minister's brothers in Michigan, Detroit. He said the state representative of Minister Farrakhan, one of the student ministers. And I'm thinking about you all. You all were representatives of Farrakhan. When you was being received by these people, you represented and carried yourself so well and humbly, and these people felt obliged to do something for you.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
That was one of the. It was an answer to a prayer. It was God saying that you're walking the right way. It was kindred spirits who understood the reason why we were doing this, and who wanted to provide some sort of shelter or hospitality for that. Again, you see on the news, you hear the rhetoric about racial divide and segregation, but when you're actually dealing with someone who the news is telling, the mass media is telling me shouldn't like me, but yet we're talking and finding common ground and actually hugging, and this person who the news is telling me doesn't like me is reaching in their pocket and giving us money, and also inviting us to their home, or crying because what we're doing is touching their heart so much. Then how can you, like Khalid just said, you got to have direct experience. If you aren't going out there and looking someone in the eye and saying, this is who I am and this is what I stand for, then you'll be running, hiding, living your life in the shadows, living your life through hearsay, never knowing what it is to fully see God work and clear the way and make the so-called enemy your footstool.
Now that that ride is over.
Yes, sir.
You died well with the minister. You all had a nice rapport. That you assure him that you would be there for him to see again? Are there any regrets? Okay, I've had dinner, I've rolled, that's it.
I'm ready for more, in fact. I gave my word. I believe our word is bond. I feel like in order to be ready, you have to stay ready. And so that's the reason I'm in this garb right now. I'm cycling right now, I didn't get off the bike and say I'm stopping. In fact, we're planning more community cycling courses. In fact, we're planning for 2016 with the goal of dropping our community blood pressure. So I am fully invested.
And you mentioned the blood pressure. Help me to understand, what do you got in mind?
So in our mind, our community is wrought with all of these health clinics and dialysis centers. In fact, my grandfather was on dialysis, so I understand what that's like. And, one of the things I realized is cycling and healthy lifestyle can be a remedy, a preventative measure that could keep us out of these facilities, in fact, close them down. Indeed. So one of the elements that we have to do to be scientists for our own bodies is to increase our BPM, our beats per minute, meaning that in order to maintain our cardiovascular system, to make sure our heart is strong, to make sure we can deal with these blood-borne, blood-related challenges that our people are disproportionately affected with, we've got to increase our BPM. So that's where cycling comes in, because cycling allows you to increase your heart rate. It allows you to sweat, which is important to get the toxins out of our bodies. And it also gives us a wonderful stress relief where a lot of the psychosomatic challenges that we deal with can be dealt with.
What about this thing, how long do you have to ride the bike? I mean, give me some
parameter.
Parameters for the exercise.
Myself, I cycle all day. In fact, I don't drive most times. I parked my vehicle 2 years ago, and God bless her, she's still sitting there.
So you ride everywhere you go?
I ride everywhere I go, and that's something I lead in when I speak.
I have to tell you, I probably have blown at you a couple of times. but I was impressed when they started to make those bike lanes, and Mayor Daley, they was telling me I couldn't even picture Daley on a bicycle. And I was frequently involved and talking with him. I would see him on a regular basis, and I just couldn't. I said, this guy riding a bike, he just didn't look like it.
Yes.
But I find that there are a lot of people that do it, and Rahm Emanuel has taken it a step further with the
Divvy.
Yeah, yeah, and renting bikes and all of that.
Yes.
What do they have you as an advisor?
I mean, you know what? Again, this is part of the process. You know, it's before we get the accolades, one must do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this represents for us is, again, a mountaintop.
Well, I think if I may be able to say that, and I will be talking to the mayor very soon. We're scheduled for an interview, and I think that, people, see, we say we want to help the community.
Right.
And people like you from the community, that they can see things that you're doing. And just whoever that principal might be, to invite you into the schools, to have those kind of trades and things, just like they don't have shop as they used to. Things that we need to know. I heard the brother mention Harold Washington Library and doing the, graphic designs and things. You got to give people a chance and then to be involved,
Yes, sir. And that's what we advocate. In fact, to touch on the BPM, we found that at least an hour and a half worth of consistent cardiovascular can drop your blood pressure by anywhere 20 points, if not more, depending on your biology.
So I should, if I'm riding a bike for at least an hour and a half a day,
yes, sir,
I'm in good shape.
You're in wonderful shape, and you'll witness the results immediately. You'll witness it.
In what capacity?
In the capacity, the fact is, the more you do, the more capacity you have to do more, which is why Minister Farrakhan is able to function as if he's 21 yet 82, because he understands it's not about bemoaning the work, it's appreciating the fact that I have the opportunity to do this work.
Hey, you know what? My cardiologist, who told me, and I always like to talk about him, he's a brilliant young man, and he tells me that right now he can't come on TV with me because he don't want people to know that I'm his doctor. You know what I mean?
We're going to get you right.
Yeah, so that's what I got. See, and I don't have any excuse because I know too much not to be more disciplined, but I like to do something that I like.
Yeah.
And as I told you, I love my bike.
Yes, sir.
And but it's a stationary one. Downstairs, but when you get outside, and the fresh air, even in walking is much better because it's something about that fresh air.
Nature is a derivative of netter, which is God, and God is in nature.
Well, I want to thank you, my dear brother. That's really Nicoh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my friend Carly. And we'll leave the Johnson for another time. Thank you so much. But I'm going to invite you on the live show so people can see you around the world.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it.
Okay, my dear brothers and sisters, on behalf of Crow and the very distinguished Crow TV members, thank you so much for watching. And may Allah bless you with the light of understanding as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.